What is up, YouTube? Cam the Token Trans here, bringing you a brand new video. And just like I promised, today I am returning to the discussion of trans-related topics. Specifically, I'm going to talk about binding with tape. Now, if you are unfamiliar with what binding tape looks like, it has kind of like a similar texture to like an ace bandage, but it is sticky with adhesive, and it does not go around your body to compress your chest that way. The way this video is going to be broken down is that we are going to talk about the pros and cons of using binding tape instead of a traditional chest binder. I'm going to offer some tips and tricks for binding with tape effectively. I'm going to talk about the two different brands that I have used for binding. And then I'm going to discuss my overall experience with binding with tape, my own personal experience. So, one of the biggest pros I have found with binding with tape is that I don't have any chest or shoulder pain that is caused by binding with the tape. The way that a traditional chest binder compresses your chest and like squeezes your torso, my shoulders get generally very agitated from wearing a regular binder, and I had actually started binding a lot less frequently because of it. And then I remembered that tape is an option, and I had started binding with tape, and I definitely prefer binding with tape because it no longer agitates my shoulders. And because of the difference in how it flattens your chest versus a traditional binder, you can actually exercise in it because it's not squeezing your lungs and making it harder to breathe. It is waterproof, so you can shower and swim in it. And because of the nature of the adhesive, you can actually wear it for multiple days. I think the adhesive lasts for like a week. I generally wear it for like 4 days because the edges start curling up and it drives me crazy. And if you are like me and you are self-conscious of having the binder be visible, it allows you to wear more types of clothing because you don't have like the straps of the binder showing under like shirts and things. So I've actually started being able to wear like tank tops and stuff in the summer. And actually, because it is not like an additional layer on your body, it is a lot more friendly to those of us who run a lot hotter, especially in the summer. And that is something that I really appreciate about it too. So, being able to wear garments with thinner straps is great, but also, in the summer, just wearing a t-shirt isn't as oppressively uncomfortable because you're not wearing an additional layer. So one more pro that I wanted to add that I had written down but did not go over for some reason is that the tape generally is a little bit more one-size-fits-all than the typical chest binder is, because it's all about the width of the tape and the amount of tape that you use, like the number of pieces, as opposed to needing to measure your chest and your shoulders and things like that. So it is a little bit more forgiving in that regard as well. Now, for some, the cons may outweigh the pros. For me, they generally don't. You have to be incredibly patient when you apply the tape, because if you try and go too fast with it, or you try and be too careless with it, it can curl up a lot sooner, or you won't get quite the flattening that you would want with the tape. You do need to shave if you have any level of body hair, because if you don't, it is like a ripping off a Band-Aid, but 10 times worse, especially if you remove it without oil, which is another thing. The removal process is very, very involved, because you need to use oil, and you need to apply the oil thoroughly, because otherwise you can rip out hairs, you can rip off layers of skin, the adhesive could stay on your skin. It is not a fun time. And if you're sensitive to oils and you can't really use oil to remove the tape, then I really wouldn't recommend using the tape at all, because removing the tape without the oil, even if you wait like the full week, is still not fun and not good for your skin. And if you're allergic to adhesives, like that can cause a problem. Even if you're not allergic to all adhesives, you're still going to want to test the tape before you apply it like fully. And, you know, that's not always fun. And even if you're not allergic to adhesives, or even if you're not generally sensitive to adhesives, it can still irritate your skin. That is something that I have dealt with. Generally, it's if I don't apply it just right, or if I'm super impatient when I'm applying the tape. But generally, as long as I use the oil to remove it, and I apply Aquaphor or their soothing balm that they offer, then it generally heals up within a couple days. It doesn't usually stick around for very long, so that's at least something. Now, the tips and tricks for applying the tape. The biggest one that I have from my own experience, that is something that is used as a tip on a lot of the websites that tell you how to bind with tape, but I didn't utilize right away, and I really wish I had, is you want to curve the edges of your tape when you're cutting off the lengths of tape that you're going to be applying. By default, the tape comes with squared edges, and you want to just round those out, like cut off the corner, so that way it doesn't start to peel up super early. It like sticks to your skin a little bit better. I definitely recommend not cutting too long of pieces. You do not want the tape to go past like the middle of your side, because otherwise it is very hard to get off. It is hard to apply. It is not great. And I said this at the top of the video, but I'm going to reiterate it. You do not wrap the tape around your torso. It is not good. That becomes like an ace bandage, but on crack, and that is just not good. I have these rolls of TransTape that I have been using very consistently, but you have another option, which is KT tape, which is for bracing like injuries and things. My issue with KT tape is generally that it is not very subtle, because it doesn't really come in as many color choices as the TransTape does. I think it's like mostly black, whereas the TransTape has a lot of, I won't say a lot, because I don't remember exactly how many options that has, but it has more flesh tones. I think the KT tape is like a single flesh tone and then black and blue or something like that, whereas like this matches my skin pretty well, and I like that. And TransTape is actually also trans-owned, which is a huge factor for me supporting the company. It was founded by a trans-masculine person. I don't know if he is a trans man. The website does use he, him pronouns for him, so I will also. But yeah, the fact that it was founded and owned by a trans-masculine person definitely pushes me to support them more than KT tape, which is just like an athletic company or whatever. But my overall experience with binding with tape is very, very positive, because I am able to wear a wider variety of clothes without feeling self-conscious about having my binder on underneath it, and because the tape resembles my skin color more than most binders generally do, it just makes me feel more confident when I'm wearing it. Like, I can wear a button down and I can have like a cheeky little bit of chest hair, showing, which I generally really can't with a traditional binder. And I don't know, it just feels closer to being shirtless without like breaking the law, because I still have that frustrating F on my birth certificate for the time being. Now, I generally highly recommend at least trying binding with tape if you are not super happy with binding with a traditional chest binder, because, I tried it once because it came up on my TikTok feed, and I was like, well, it doesn't hurt anything to try it, because I had been having issues with a traditional binder with like my shoulders and my neck and stuff, and I found that I really, really liked it. And like as I do it more and I get more comfortable with it, I definitely find that I enjoy it even more, because I'm getting the flat appearance that I like, and it's becoming less frustrating to apply the tape as I get better at applying it. And I realize like I get better at estimating how long I need, like how long of a piece I need, and it definitely has a learning curve, and it is less approachable than just buying a binder and throwing it on. But I also didn't like having to like measure myself for a binder and always second guessing whether the measurement was accurate and whether I was going to get the right sized binder. And I also have like, on top of my body dysphoria, I also have pretty severe body dysmorphia, where I feel larger than I actually am, and I have a very unhealthy relationship with my body. So, like, measuring and seeing those numbers and constantly worrying that the numbers weren't accurate, it just wasn't fun. Whereas with the tape, I just cut off the pieces that I need, I apply it, and then I'm good. So, I definitely prefer binding with tape over a traditional binder. I'm definitely glad I started doing it. But anyway, that is all I have to say. If you bind with tape and you have any tips and tricks for anybody who might be watching, please leave them in my comments below. If you have any questions on binding with tape, definitely leave me a comment. I can answer it either in text, or if I feel like a video would be better, I can also definitely do that. I'm going to attach a picture of me in the tape without a shirt or anything on, and then a picture of me in the tape with a shirt on. I love you all, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! So this is once again future Cameron editing the video, and just wanting to show you how little you actually see when you're wearing the tape in a tank top. So here is a t-shirt that I modified to cut the sleeves off, and again you can see how little of it you actually see. And then here is a regular tank top. Again, you do not see the tape at all. And the flattening isn't terrible. So, I definitely really like tape. But I wanted to give a little bit of an update because I was going to add a picture of me freshly bound with tape. And I figured I did this Saturday, and today is Wednesday, and this is what it looks like. So this is the same tape as the picture that I'm going to include. So obviously you can see that the edges are kind of fraying. There's a little bit of like adhesive residue that will get rid of when I apply oil to it, but this is 5 days of use because I did it pretty early Saturday. So